Hey everyone. Bit of a different ramble than I guess my normal progress videos. Um, yeah, really I was thinking about rambles and stuff recently and sort of coming up on matches. I figured I'd do more of a longer style, just start recording and see whatever comes to my head. Usually for these videos, I have like not like a script, but I have like all like my points that I want to make and stuff and all neatly laid out, but yeah, not this time. This time I'm sort of just chilling. So yeah, I mean, just about 170k RCXP from Max. Should be getting it pretty soon. I've got like a tentative maxing date of April 11th. We'll see. I'm actually gonna be on vacation for the next like week or so, so I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna try to do like 10k XP a day while I'm gone, but I don't know. Either the 11th or maybe the 12th at like the latest. Yeah. Anyway, though, so I don't know. Where does my story start with RuneScape? Um, I think like a lot of us, I was a mid to early 2000s middle schooler, elementary schooler, whatever you want to call it. I was a kid, and you know, my family we had a computer room, as some of us did back then, where essentially the house only had one computer, and it was in usually like an office or a room, and yeah, we called it the computer room at least. And we as kids we had been introduced to some games, but one day my older brother, I see him start playing this game called RuneScape, and I'm a young kid with an older brother, so obviously I'm gonna be doing pretty much everything that he does. So he shows me it. I make an account one day. It's funny, we kind of had like the sibling rivalry or whatever, where as the older brother, he would get all the time on the PC, and I did not. So really, it was like whenever he was busy or he had someone else going on, or if he was off playing the PlayStation, then I'd be able to sneak on. So my parents, they were willing to pay for membership back then, but I don't think they really understood. Just it was a whole like different thing than normal. Just usually like you'd buy a video game and you pay the price the first time, but I don't think they really understood the whole like weekly, monthly payment. So my older brother got the membership account, and the smart thing would have just been to have played his account and we could have just played together. But for some reason, my older brother at the time didn't want to do that. So I ended up making my own account. And because my brother got the membership, I got the free to play only. Which honestly, to a kid like that, like the free to play, even back then, free to play RS2 was big enough that you didn't really need membership. Like I never felt like I was missing out on anything. So yeah, I mean, I was a turbo noob back then, so I was doing the turbo noob stuff. Uh, I I think like my main skilling activities back then were really just like getting stuff and then trying to make money because there's no real PVM, and I didn't really like training combats back then. I really just liked stealing, and what I wanted most was to look cool in game, which meant that I had to get all the cool looking armor, like all the like the black armor with the gold trim. I think I must have been in Draenor or something for some reason, just like walking through, and I saw someone in like the full black with the gold trim, and my like 5, 6 year old self thought that that was the coolest thing in the world. So I remember like every stealing thing, like chopping oaks and willows, and not even like I don't even like I don't know if like trading was a thing that I did. I think that I was all just like selling to the general store. So I think I was too young to understand what like how to like trade with other players or how to go to the GE, if there even was a GE back then. I actually don't think there was. Um, but yeah, so I remember I saved up a ton. I I had this I found out that smithing got me pretty decent GP whenever I sold smithing items. So what I would do is I would mine mithril and coal in Altarid. I would smelt it at the lumbery furnace, and then I would walk to the Draenor sewer anvil, and I would make like two plate bodies, um, or like however many you can like fit in an inventory, and I would sell them in Lumbridge on the way back. Like never to any other players, always just to the general stores. I didn't really get it, and I spent like I don't really have a good idea of like how much time I played the game back then, but I did manage to make quite a bit of money. At least like just over time, smelling the smithing supplies. And I say a lot of money. I mean, probably wasn't even that much. But eventually, I did figure out trading. So I did get my hand on the Black G, and that was pretty cool. And then like every time I would like, I think I would woodcut a bit, and then every time I would see someone with a cooler armor set, I would like realize that it's this, and I'd make money for it. Like I saw someone with Addy with the gold trim. I bought that, and then eventually I figured out like the different rune sets like from the clues, and I think it was Armadillo, the white one. I remember I really liked that, so I sold all my other armor sets and I made some more GP. And I bought the rune set, and I didn't even have 40 attack or defense. I think I only, so I didn't do like any quests. I didn't do Dragon Slayer. I might have done Dragon Slayer. I don't really remember, but I just remember that like I finally got the rune set and I didn't even have 40 defense. And I remember I was like so angry about that I stopped playing for a long time. Um, and then I came back at some point and I did get 40 defense so I could wear it, but I think I was kind of drifting towards playing like games on my PS3 like Call of Duty or Battlefield, the games like that, and RuneScape kind of faded. I came back to it occasionally over the years, like just once in a blue moon. I would like remember RuneScape even existed because it was kind of an interesting thing. I had no friends my age who played. Everybody who I knew who played RuneScape back then, it was all like either my cousins or like my older brother's friends. But like no one in my friend group even knew what RuneScape was. They all played World of Warcraft, so I wasn't like thinking about it constantly. But yeah, then I kind of drifted off, maybe like 07 ish, probably like yeah when like old school like when that save was made. Because I don't remember if the GE existed when I played back then. Or maybe it did like later on or something. Because I vaguely remember like asking people where to buy like armor sets, and it was like Falador Park or something, or like it was wherever like people like just traded. So I remember like seeing everybody and they had like the fancy text effects trying to sell off, whatever. And yeah, I did a few other things back then as well. Like I remember I chopped a lot of willow trees at the Lumbee Pond. I really like the Lumbee Pond. It's a really nice spot. And I remember I think I stopped at 60 wood cutting because I think I remember unlocking yew trees, and then I chopped like one yew. I think I chopped the yew tree in Lumbridge down, like just the one, and then of course it takes a long time to respawn, so I thought it was kind of worthless, so I stopped doing that. And I did a lot of lobster fishing. I remember I would the dock at Musa Point in Karamja. I would fish a lot of lobsters there, and that was fun. And I think I remember too, like, I think I would try to be the person who would like bring some logs to fire make to cook them. And I remember people always like thanking me for that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, really like I played a little bit as a kid. That's really what I'm trying to put at. But not like a whole lot. And I definitely didn't do members. And so, fast forward through life. Didn't play at all in high school, or really even like it was really elementary school I played. So I didn't play in middle school, didn't play in high school, didn't play for most of college. It was actually so it would have been 2019, so like 6 or 7 years ago. Let me use that in the title. So yeah, 6 or 7 years ago, it was 2019. And um, so essentially, the cousin that some people have heard me talk about him. One of my cousins, though, he ended up moving in with my parents for a couple of years, just while he went to college at a university, the same university that my mom worked at. So like it was kind of close by. He was from a different part of the state. He didn't have a ton of money at the time, so he didn't want to like buy his own apartment or anything. And I think he was too old to stay in the dorms by that point. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I mean, so he spent a few years living with us. But actually, it's funny because I didn't see him much because it'd be a thing where he'd be living at my parents' house while I was at university myself. And then when summer came around, when I came home, he'd be gone. But it was summer of 2019. He decided to stick around a bit, and so around like high school and into college, I actually had a pretty nice setup at my parents' place. It was so the upstairs of our garage, just like we had like a two-car garage on the side of the house, and the upstairs of it, we finished it it wasn't originally finished, but my parents eventually got around to like getting some AC in there and finishing it up nicely. And so my older brother and I, we sort of commandeered that space. That became like our gaming space, which is really nice. Like, it's separated from the house. You have to like leave the house, like go into the garage, and then go upstairs. So you're kind of like separated away from my parents. Which as a kid, like when you're looking to try to get away, it's pretty nice. A lot of late night gaming sessions up there. And yeah, so that summer it was like my older brother, me, my cousin, like all three of us, we all had gaming PCs. So we were all up there just like gaming all day. And I noticed my cousin playing a lot of RuneScape. And I vaguely remembered that there was this like big poll that went out about like releasing old school RuneScape or like old school servers. Like I think I'd like seen some news article about it and like didn't really pay attention. Like I didn't watch any YouTube before then either. Like I had not been exposed to RuneScape for years until I saw him playing it. And back then, he was just playing like a pay to play regular account. I think he was just like trying to max it or maybe doing some whatever PVM was out in 2019. And I was like, oh yeah, this looks pretty cool. It's been a long time, so I think like yeah, just like bored one day, download RuneScape, make a new account. Um, I don't know what. So my original like RS2 account was named Gorilla Man 46, but the gorilla was spelled wrong. It was with two R's, not with two L's. So it was a Gorrilla. I think like the game must have like auto generated that username or something. But yeah, so I lost that account. I don't know what happened with it, but I made a new account. It was just the IDIN like a regular account. It started off as free to play. Um, I think my original plan was that I was gonna like make enough money for a bond, and then I'd buy a bond and go members. Because think back to then when bonds were like 4 mil, that was like a viable route. So I remember like no two-factor authentication, very simple password. Um, Played the account for a little bit. My cousin, it's funny. He traded me like a mil GP to start off with, which I thought was like I was still in like my elementary school mindset that a million GP was an insane amount of money. So I'm like thanking him, like, dude, this is like the very much like cute noob, like this is like game changing. And so yeah, I was looking around, like trying to figure out like GP, like money makers, and like crafting seemed like a good one. Like buying or like just like buying gold ore, making gold bars, or making amulets or rings or like whatever. There was some website. It wasn't the wiki. It was like I don't remember what it was, but it was like how to make money or like what jewelry made the most GP. It might have been the wiki actually. So yeah, I put that like I started making some money, and then I think around when I had like 3 mil GP, I was pretty close to getting a bond. Um, the account got hacked, and I logged in at the Castle Wars bench with the bank cleaned out. And I was pretty upset. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not invested in this account anymore. So I'd stopped playing, I think. And yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact time frame. Just around this time, like I was going back to school for the fall semester, and I it was through YouTube that like I started watching a couple of. Now I was drawn to like the Snowflake accounts. There was like the Verf when he was just doing the Karamja account. Uh, I don't even know if it's Swamp Lettuce had started yet, or maybe it like just started. But the idea of like playing a UIM seemed pretty cool. And as I started looking into like UIMs and like free to play and just looking up stuff like that, somehow Pause's Matson guide came up. And like I don't know, something about like skilling, like I loved it when I was a kid. And like seeing that like seeing watching that video and like seeing all the methods and him explain it was like such like a cool like awakening of interest where I was like, oh yeah, like I want to do that. And then, I'd still like I still like kind of knew about like all the UIM stuff going on. So I think somewhere or another, Automology's videos also got into my feed. And by this point, he had like progressed his UIM, his free to play UIM pretty far. So yeah, I fell in love with the idea, and it was either late 2019 or early 2020. I started this account, the free to play UIM, and so that's from the project videos, that kind of history starts from there. But in terms of more like the IRL stuff, I was already late into college, so I studied mechanical engineering, which is a pretty intensive major. And by this point too, there were also some other games that I was playing a lot. Uh, I'd spent a lot of my college video gaming time playing Osu, the rhythm game. And when I wasn't playing that, my brother and I would usually play some like FPS or some like multiplayer shooter. We were always into the Battlefield games. I also spent a lot of that time playing PUBG. PUBG was actually funny because it's one of those games where you're talking a lot if you're playing with someone to try to like let people let them know like where the enemy is and like calling things out. So there would be several times that my roommates would be studying and they'd have to come in and ask me to quiet down. If it was like midnight, I'm screaming that there's like someone over the ridge that's like gonna start shooting at us. But yeah, so RuneScape definitely wasn't at like the forefront of my attention. It was very much like, oh, I'm kind of busy. Like I'm doing homework, but I'm not like super intensively. I want to play on my computer, but I don't want to like really play. So RuneScape was like a perfect thing that just kind of opened up in the backgrounds. And yeah, so that was kind of the early days, way before Matsing was on my mind. I think I was kind of just going off of like I was honestly kind of doing like the Automology thing. I was just looking at his videos, and it's like, oh well, he went for 99 range first, so I'll just do that. And I slowly wanted to get like 85 and 89 smithing. So yeah, just like I actually did kill a decent amount of antiers. I didn't even know that Odrisses were in the game. Just it's so funny. Just like I started watching his series, the Automology series, and then I started playing, but I didn't get to the point that Odrisses were out in his video. So I'm just like ranging. I ranged antiers I think until like probably like 60 range. Like it was a pretty high number. And then finally somebody told me that Odrisses existed. And by someone, that's actually an interesting point too. So I think it's worth noting that I was never a social gamer in the sense that like I would never like if I was like playing in some like if I was playing like Modern Warfare or something, or if I was playing Battlefield, I would never like talk with my headset I would never like especially not to strangers. Like sure, like I team speak or I Discord with like my brother or someone like my other friends that played PC games back then. But I would never just like join a random server or like join a random Discord and like chat with people. Like even when I was like playing like Call of Duty, I would actually like if people were talking, I would usually just like go like into the scoreboard and just mute everybody at the start of the game. And so it was kind of it was a big deal for me at least, I think, around yeah, it must have been like early mid 2020, kind of right in COVID time that people were spending more time online and uh I don't remember how it happened. I think what happened was I wanted to join, the same clan that Pause and Melody were in, the free to play clan. And so I think I remember I joined the Discord, I applied, but they didn't let me in because I didn't have the 250 EHP minimum. And so like but I was still in the Discord and like I don't remember how it happened. It may be like a link on the free to play wiki when I found that, but I like I started looking for other clans to join. And so it's so funny. Like the first clan, even before 385, I technically joined the free to play Iron Man clan or like yeah, F2P UIM clan because back then they had the signups on the RuneScape forum. And it's so funny because I didn't realize that to join the free to play Iron Man clan that you had to like go into the in-game clan. I didn't even know if I used clan chats back then. I think it was like maybe like I wanted to like get info on just like community stuff, and like I don't even think I knew what like a friends chat was, or anything like that. I remember like going to the forums trying to join free play Iron Man clan, and maybe I just expected like an email or reply with like how to join the clan, like the Discord or whatever, but I never got that. So that like application I sent on the forums was the only communication I had with the Iron Man clan. But somehow I found the 385 clan. I don't remember when it happened. It was sometime while I was ranging, I think. Um, Sometime before Cam Dozel came out. Like I'm trying to remember like what my very first videos were. And yeah, so I somehow managed to find the clan, and by that point I was kind of like it seemed like it was active enough. I think it was the first clan chat I ever joined. So I didn't join the free to play clan chat. I never joined the Iron Man clan chat. The 3-5 clan chat, that was the first one I think that I figured out how to use. And so yeah, that's kind of the like runes like playing old school was really the first time in a video game that I started chatting with people. Or like at least just like, you know, messaging them in the clan chat or on the Discord. I was still very, very hesitant to join voice chats. I didn't do that for a few years. And the very first clan chat I did join, or the very first voice chat I joined was with like Water Nine, Dan's Potato, Cold Fingers. Not the most beginner friendly. Someone who's like new to chatting with strangers on the internet. Not that I have anything against those guys, but it's just like I don't know. It was a very funny encounter that like my noob of a introvert person was not ready for. So yeah, I still didn't like still wasn't active in voice chats for a long time, but yeah, around that time, it was really literally like yeah, my first conversations with people in game, which is a big deal because like, and I'll probably talk about this more later, but like the community is like really the biggest reason why I play this game now. But yeah, anyway, I'll keep going with the timeline. So yeah, it's like 2020, COVID starts. Um, which is funny because like, a lot of people like it meant that they were able to play a lot more RuneScape, but I was still like playing much like other games, and I had a really tough like spring of 2020 semester at school. It's like one of the hardest years that you'll do in engineering. 'Cause it's all of like I'm not like a senior yet. I was a junior, So I had all of like the just uh like my vibrations class and like my engineering structures class and some other class like material science, like all the hard ones all at once. I think maybe like thermodynamics too was in there. And yeah, so I like RuneScape was definitely not on my mind. That summer though, I played a bit. Definitely not as much as I mean around this time like 2020, 2021, even 2022, I was really only playing like 500 hours a year at most. And that was really just like maybe an hour a day of logging in. Like I was not playing much at all. I was still very, very new to the idea of playing for more than just like an hour or two. And so, yeah, summer 2020, that was like, it's funny. So, like, a bunch of us in my hometown, like a lot of my hometown friends, like nobody had a job, just COVID had like shut everything down, but we're all at home and we all have just enough money to start buying beer and stuff. And most of us are 21 by this point. So, yeah, we spent that summer a lot of, yeah, like house parties or I live on a lake, or at least my parents now live on a lake, and we used to like go out on the lake a lot, drink, just the usual like young person shenanigans. But yeah, whenever I wasn't out with them, I was usually at home, and because I was living with my cousin, still at that time, he spent that summer with us. Watching him play RuneScape all day, like that would be the like, oh, like he's playing RuneScape, I should play RuneScape. And it's so funny because I feel like one of the biggest questions around this time that I honestly don't really have a great answer for is like, why did I stay free to play? Like, why did I never go pay to play? And it's funny because like I don't have a great answer. There's the part of me that's stingy. Um, if I can avoid spending money to do something, I'll generally do that. Like I pirate a lot of like the media that I consume, or like I literally stream a lot of the shows or movies that I watch. Um, if a game has a free option, I'll try to get that, or I'll try to like mooch like a gift from someone, or like if somebody else like really wants to play a video game with me and they're willing to like spend a few bucks to buy it for me, I'll sometimes mooch that. I try to live like a pretty low budget lifestyle, so I think that's part of it. I think another part too is, and like this is probably with everybody who plays old school, who played RS2, is the familiarity of it. Um, yeah, you know, free to play was what I played back in the day. I never did any membership stuff back then, so like, I never killed barrows. I never went to God Wars. I never did any of the pay to play skilling stuff. I never killed KBD or Calfight Queen. So like that was never like I didn't come back to this game wanting that or like expecting to do those kind of activities. I really just like doing the stealing stuff and that combined with not wanting to buy membership. I think that kind of kept me in. And of course like watching like the pause not emoji videos and knowing that staying free to play. I think that's nothing too is like I have the part of it that like made me not want to spend money, but knowing that there was a route in which I could not pay money but still enjoy this game, and like seeing that other people were doing that, and that kind of comes back to like the community thing. Um, yeah, like combining those factors, it's like yeah, all right, I like free to play, I like not spending money, I like this game, so I may as well stick with it. So that's probably why. And then of course 2 years of that, and eventually it's the sunk cost fallacy of like, okay, well I've been playing free to play this long, yeah, I may as well keep going. um, but yeah, so you know, I graduated college 2021. I'm playing a bit, but I'm really not playing a whole lot. Again, like 500 app years. Summer of 2021, I do this like big cross country road trip. It's like takes most of the summer. I'm not playing at all. Like I think I had the mobile app. It was out by then, but I didn't really interact with it. And then yeah, after that, I spent 2020 like some travel, some job searching. Kind of like kind of a weird point in my life. I was playing RuneScape for sure, but I definitely was not playing a lot of it. And I think by this point, yeah, I was done with playing Osu at this point. So I was looking for another game to like focus on long term. But yeah, I got a job uh end of the spring of 2022. And I think it's really when I got this job, or at least my last job, that I think this really where my like RuneScape career kind of takes off. Because sure, I'd made a few videos. I hadn't streamed it all yet though, and I was still not playing very much at all. But all of a sudden, I had this job that 2 or 3 days a week, I didn't even have to go in. I could work from home. And all of a sudden, I'm stuck at home, and sure, like I might be able to watch some shows, but really, like I'm in meetings, so I have to hear what's going on, and I can't be focused fully on just like playing video games. And so I think really RuneScape became that like perfect, like I can have my laptop open in front of my PC, I can do some work, and then I can click on something. And I think once I had that going, that was like the I think that was the real start of like playing RuneScape, at least playing old school. But just from there, like I got very comfortable with like at least playing 1,000 hours or 2,000 hours a year, and like a lot of these like big goals that early on seemed impossible were definitely much more in reach. Because it's let me look at the temple graph. It's probably gonna help me visualize some of this stuff of like when I started doing some of these things. So let me look at first data points. I guess I could show this on the camera too, but I'm too lazy to move stuff. What's my smithing graph? That's probably a good. Hmm. Once I finish ranged, actually, that's probably good. Okay, yeah. So yeah, end of 2021 is when I got 99 ranged. So I remember that was like my first big accomplishment. And then I think I spent a really long time getting 89 smithing because like I tried telegraphing up for a few uh weeks, didn't love it. Did a bunch of crafting. I tried the like before Ring of Forging smithing, just doing like 50% iron smithing, which is really bad. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, okay. So 2022 was a big crafting year for me because I was doing like crafting guild, because Barat Southwest was really bad. Um, so yeah, I slowly worked towards crafting. Eventually, I got 89 smithing though. And yeah, it was right around when I got 89 smithing and when I got this new job that I started to really send melees. And yeah, so like end of 2022, early 23, uh, that kind of became the next goal. Is like, all right, I've got the rune sim. I did a little bit of woodcutting. I did a little bit of fishing. Um, but really my main goal was like, okay, let's get melees out of the way. And around this time, Canadina was streaming a lot, and she was always at like the Alfred Hill Giant spot. Just that came out 22, I think, around the same time, maybe 21. And I fell in love with Hill Giants. Like it is such a fun method, and like it's so funny as like a noob. You come up and like the obviously like you look at the video of all three bones and the RPG switch tech, and I was like too scared to do any of that, or just like not like willing to spend the effort. So slowly over time, though, as you get more comfortable, it's like okay, like maybe I can start like prey flicking, or maybe I can start like going for some of these bones. And yeah, like that was a couple of years of just doing that, and this work from home stuff was like it was just so easy to like wake up, be at the PC at like 8, 9 a.m. and like yeah, RuneScape's open and you're just playing a bit. I'm the kind of person, I'm still kind of this way as well. Runecrafting changed it a bit, but for the most part though, I would have the RuneScape client open, but I was the kind of person that like I would log in. Like once I hit the login button, like I was focusing on RuneScape. Like even if I had like my laptop open as well for work, I would never just like sit around idle in game. Like I would play it and then I would like log out if I had to like full focus on work for a few hours. Or if I had to just do anything else. Um but yeah, like it would be like, I'd have like meetings at like 9 a.m. At 10 a.m. I'd be free. I wouldn't have to do any work. So I'd like open RuneScape, do an hour of like 1-to-1 or like, point 0.9, whatever I was able to get back then. And then like I would just like log out and go back to work for a little bit. It's funny, like there's so much time that like now I know I could have utilized. Like I never killed fleshies really. I have like a couple, like maybe like a mil XP worth of combats at fleshies, but really not a whole lot. I was very much so like willing to just like kill hill giants and log out, even if it like took way longer to get Matt's melees. And then yeah, I mean like my life hasn't changed too much since then. I've kind of settled into this routine of, I work a few hours a day over the week. I play a lot of RuneScape. Um, I try to spend my afternoons doing some amount of exercise. And I'm one of those people that like I'll like go on a run for an hour, but then like I don't know, I'll like get home and I'll just like sit like I'll be like exhausted from the run or going to the gym and I'll just like sit down and like be on my phone for an hour, not playing RuneScape. And then like I'll like shower or I'll make dinner and like all during all that time, like I'm still one of those people I hate mobile. Like mobile is just like the worst way to interact with this game. So I never utilize that. And maybe it's just like I'm a UIM, but I never like utilize really like easy AFK switches. Like during rune crafting. Like there's so many times that like, I could just like switch to just doing like walk earths or walk body runes. Or I could like if I had an axe, I could like go chop some yew trees. But I just never did that. Like I just never enjoyed doing that. Unless I was like playing in a competition. But yeah, so it's taken me a lot longer than it really should have to have matched this account. But at the end of the day, though, like I don't know, I enjoy my IRL stuff. I've got a pretty good situation going. I like to do a lot of travel. Um, Talked about that in a lot of my videos, like going on vacations or going on like hiking trips. Um, I like to try to get out whenever I can. I I'm not at a point where I ever feel like I need to play this game. Though I think that what it started to change, at least like I started to get more serious about like forcing myself to sit down at the PC. Probably 2020, like I think it was yeah, end of 24, early 25. It's whenever I started the prayer grind because I'm gonna be honest, I like the boneyard method is cool. It's like there's some cool tech, but I did not love RuneScape around that time. I very much like pushed myself through to like finish those, and especially with prayer too is like because you have like the hop limit every 4 hours. I was so focused on making sure that like I could do as many hop limits a week as possible. And so like really like prayer was probably the like besides maybe like the last few weeks just on the match, that prayer was like the most I've ever played RuneScape. Just constantly like wake up in the morning, hop limit, like doing like a 1-to-1 hop limit as soon as I get out of bed, like before I can even like get a coffee into me, and then yeah, doing some no hop, doing another hop limit a bit after lunch, doing another one around dinner, and then doing like half of one right before bed, and just like constantly like doing no hop all day in the middle. That was definitely like I think that was like another like big shift. Like after like if there were like singular events that like changed how I play RuneScape, getting the job was one, and then yeah, doing Boneyard was definitely another. Because really, like it wasn't really until the like early last year that I started playing this. Like at least that like I started thinking about having this client open all day, or at least through most of the day. So yeah, that kind of takes me to pretty close to today. I mean, I did just get a new job earlier this month, which it's a bit longer in the office for now, but I think it's gonna be like my last job where like at the beginning I was going in 5 days a week, and then eventually I was only only going in like 1 day a week. Um, it's probably gonna be something similar to that. Like right now I'm going in 3 days a week, but it's like a full 8 or 9 hour day. And I think over time I'm just gonna like learn when my boss isn't there, when I can kind of play hooky or whatever. Because like I still have the ability to work remote. Um, so like there's nothing I really need to be in the office for. And actually in a few weeks, so right now my desk is like right next to my boss, which kind of sucks. But in a few weeks I'm actually gonna be moving to a different room where my boss is not gonna be like hovering over me all day. So hopefully that'll make it a little easier to kind of sneak in late or leave a little earlier. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I'm, and this is maybe like a more IRL side to this ramble, but I hate being in an office. I do not understand. Like, I mean, yeah, I remember, like, I didn't start working in an office. Like, my first job, besides, I mean, like, back in the day, I was, like, working in a restaurant. Um, but, like, I remember I worked one internship uh, a few summers ago. It was, like, summer of 2018, I think. And I had to be in the office 5 days a week, like, 8 to 5, essentially. And I hated it. And like it was so bad too because it had like a clock in, clock out system, which like it wasn't like I wasn't a full time employee who could just like say I worked 40 hours that week. I had to like clock in and clock out manually, and like I couldn't go back and change it. So I had to like physically stay there until I got 8 hours that day, and it was torturous. I don't know how people did it. Like I wasn't even it wasn't even that long of a commute. It was like a 30-minute commute, I think. But oh my god, like it was just the most painful thing in my life. Like I don't know how people could do that their whole lives, or at least their whole career. And so yeah, like having my first real office job out of college be like having like work from home availability, and also just being able to like show up late, being able to leave early on the days that I did go in. Yeah, very much so like is what I enjoy, because like I have nothing wrong with my coworkers. Like at my last job, especially, like I actually had a really good group of coworkers that I enjoyed like spending time with and talking with. But it was just something about like I don't even know what it is. Like maybe it's like the kind of introverted side of me who doesn't want to deal with people. Maybe it's the just like I don't want to be like all dressed up in like a work outfit. I don't want to be like in my pajamas. Maybe it's I maybe like I don't think it's just wanting to play RuneScape. I think playing so much RuneScape is like it's a secondary thing. Like oh, I'm already at home chilling in front of the PC. I may as well be playing RuneScape. Versus, I gotta get out of this office so I can go home and play RuneScape. Like, if that makes sense. I very much so just don't want to be in an office. Which, yeah, hopefully for the rest of my life, I can do like a hybrid. Like 3 days in, 2 days at home. I fully remote would be nice, but at the same time, like it is sort of nice having a reason to go into an office. Like every now and then, like I don't know, like I just, to be fair, I've never worked a fully remote job, so maybe if I ever did work one, then I would just never want to go in an office after that. Uh, and maybe it's just like the normal for me to go in some days, but not every day. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's kind of that's like my IRL situation. I don't know what else I can really talk about there. If you've never heard me talk about a girlfriend over the past couple of years in any of my videos or streams, it's because I've been single for that time. That's like a whole thing too, actually. I'll spend some time going into that. I don't really know why. Well, actually, no, that's a lot. I know why I'm single. It's that I don't put effort in to getting a girlfriend, but I think the question is why I don't put the effort in, or why I don't feel like a sense of like urgency. It's weird. Like everybody else in my life, like my siblings, my parents, like I'll start with my parents. Like they met in college, like 19 years old. They each like yeah sure they dated other people in like high school and maybe like a little bit in college, but for the most part, like they met each other like about I think like by 20 years old. They had like they were in like a long-term relationship. They got married like right after college. Like they're the only people that they've known their whole lives. And like my older brother, like he had a long term girlfriend in college as well. My little sister, same. She met her boyfriend in college, and they're still together. And it's funny, like I don't know, like I have all these people in my life that aren't single and like have these partners, and like they all met them in like younger parts of their lives. Like not many people in my life like got went into their 20s being single or like went into their first job being single. So I don't know. And it's funny too, like even like a lot of my coworkers, like they all have like partners or wives or husbands or whatever. And I don't know, I'm very much like an outlier, except for actually like my best friend from high school, who he's the one I've done a lot of these like vacations with. Um, he was also single, but he was single in the sense that like he was like very actively dating around all this time. So I don't know. I just that was like a person in my life who was like also single as well, but for the most part, like I'm the only person I know who like has been single for a long time, but hasn't like been actively trying. Like I don't know. Like I think it, like part of it is that I mean maybe just like with any introvert, like anybody who tends to have like introverted ways is not gonna like go out of their way, at least as much. But at the same time, I also like I never use dating apps. Like I don't know. I feel like there's like the single people that I have known in life. Like we'll hang out and then like the moment they have any free time, like they'll open up the phone and they're on like Hinge or Bumble or Tinder, like any of the other dating apps. But I don't know. I never like felt a need to like be on apps. And I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing too with like the introverted side of it because I'm very able to talk to people IRL, but I don't know. I think it's kind of this like weird thing, and maybe this kind of goes back to like my general personality in that I'm very much a people pleaser. I I very much don't like it when people are like angry or anything but like happy and content. And I feel like I'm someone who's like I'm willing to put up with like some bullshit, and maybe honestly that comes from like the whole like free to play and like kind of stingy mindset where like I'm able to put up with a lot because I don't want to spend money. Like maybe that like translates to the other things like I'm able to put up with a lot of bullshit. And so like if I can give anything so that the people around me are less like upset or less angry. Because like, I'm a very patient person too, I think. So it's like I don't know. Like for example, my parents are on the like opposite sides of the political spectrum, at least here in the US. And so they like, especially like during like the Trump presidency and like all that, they were very much unhappy with each other. Or like there'd be times where like, they would flare up with like argument or something. And I don't know, like I would always try to like either change the subject or I would just like walk away from that conversation. I just like didn't enjoy the idea of like being around people who were like not happy. And I think part of that kind of converts to IRL stuff, at least when it comes to talking to like women or whatever. Like I don't know, like in like a working space, like I'm very comfortable talking with like my women coworkers or whatever. Like I don't really have any issues there, but I think in my mind, I think I'd maybe go into a lot of like situations being like, oh, like in this setting, nobody wants to talk to me if I like approach them. So I think that comes too from like, you hear a lot of stories of like, when women talk, they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, I have to deal with like this like annoying asshole talking to me like at the grocery store or at the gym or at the bar. And then like I think that kind of like ingrained itself into my mind at some point where it's like, okay, well, like if people use dating apps now, then like that's where they're gonna want to talk about stuff. But like in IRL, they're not gonna want to like deal with people like me. So I think that kind of like fed into it a bit. Like if I thought about like approaching a woman to talk to her in public, like at a bar or something, I think it was just like that like initial idea my brain would come up like, oh, she probably doesn't want to talk to you. She probably just wants to like hang out with her friends or just like be alone right now. And I think that kind of goes into like the people pleaser mindset where it's like I don't want to be the one to make this person like have less of a good time. I don't know. Like I think the most success that I have had in my life in terms of like dating or whatever, it's always come from like group. It's always been like friend to friends, where it's like we'll be in a group, like all hanging out, all chatting, and you know, like one of them will be like a woman, we'll talk to them, and then eventually like it'll go into like just like a one-on-one conversation, which like in that situation I'm pretty good at. And then from there it's like, and this is probably just a problem that like all guys have is like how do you transition the conversation smoothly from just like a friendly chat to a more like flirtatious or whatever kind of conversation? And I don't know. I think I'm okay at doing that, but I'm okay at doing that when like I've known the person and like are like at spirit and like like if it's like kind of like if we're going from like a group setting to like an individual setting, like already having that like baseline. Like talking to women in public, even when they do want to talk to me, like going from just like friendly chat to like flirtatious chat, that's like a whole thing. I'm definitely not the best at. I don't know. I think another thing too is like there are some guys I know who are single, but like they have been single forever. Like they're still like virgins or whatever. I think that's like a whole thing too with like if you don't have the urgency of like being a virgin, I don't know. Maybe this is like just like a white suburban guy thing, or maybe this is like I don't know. Like if you're a virgin, you very much are trying to not be a virgin. Where like I don't know, like I did have like a long term relationship back in high school, and got a lot of like the firsts out of the way. So like that urgency isn't there. But at the same time, like that urgency also like I don't know. I feel there's a lot of people that like become incels if they have that kind of mindset, which obviously is not great at all. So I definitely I'm definitely not an incel. I don't know. That's kind of an interesting idea too. Of like, it's not even necessarily a bad thing that I'm still single. Like that maybe, and like that's again like the whole like urgency thing. Like I don't know why I don't really mind or care. Like sure, like occasionally, like every other human, I'll get lonely, but I don't know. It's like I don't feel any real sense of like, oh, I need to like get married, or like I need to like settle down or like have kids, or even just like the idea of like dating. Like I don't know, I don't feel a need, which it's not a need. Like it's never gonna be a need. So I don't know. I'll figure that out at some point, but I am pushing 30, so I did re-download Hinge for the first time in a few years the other day, so I'm gonna try to get back on that. And I don't know. I think maybe what's happened too is that like when you go like a decade with being single, it does kind of become the norm. Like it becomes like the baseline, and once it's like baseline like that, I don't know. Maybe it's like a fear of change. That could be something where like I've got like this nice thing going in my current life, and like bringing like another person into that is like a shock to the system or whatever. But I don't know. So yeah, if you ever wondered about like my personal life in that sense, that's kind of what's going on. Um, Not to say that there haven't been like little things here and there. Um, like yeah, just like kind of like I said, like friend of a friend or stuff like that. Like friends of coworkers, very very short term things. The last time I've been in a long term relationship was 2016. So yeah, it'll be uh 10 years this year that I've been like, at least in terms of like long term relationships, that I've been single. But it's fine with me. That's another thing too with like the kind of like just being like patient as a person or whatever, or just like maybe not like that's not the right word. Being content. Like it takes very little to make me happy. I've noticed that in my life. Like I'm a very like I guess like optimistic, but also like I don't know, like I'm content in like my life, and like I'm very happy to just like kind of ride along and chill and do these little things that I like here and there. Like RuneScape, for example. It's very easy in RuneScape to just be like content and just to like chill or whatever. Like that's and that, that kind of goes back to like why I still play this account and everything. Like I don't know, like having this like big goal of maxing over the past couple of years. It's just like the perfect thing of like there's just enough like different activities to do, and there's a good amount of people that are also playing this game. It's very chill. I'm very like happy and like content to just like play this game and like keep kind of going along and hanging out. Ugh. But yeah, speaking of the community aspect of things too, it is funny because I've definitely seen a correlation with like how social I am in this like game and community, and like how much I play the game. Because I mentioned earlier like I'd never been social in other games before this, and yeah, like I tried joining voice chat a few times, but at some point, the free to play clan, and I might have not have the history totally right on this, but at some point, free to play clan starts doing voice chats a bit more frequently. So I started joining those, and like those were some like my earliest, you know, talking with other players. And it's so funny. Like I have this like very specific memory of like this actually might have even been in the 3.5 voice chat, but it's like me and Plu, the level 3, and Zypher, who I was racing Zypher to like 99 woodcutting or something. Because I've had a few like RuneScape friends over the years. Like I don't know, like I think Bony Ghost, if y'all remember him, the UIM in 3.5. He hasn't played much recently, but he was like my first like RuneScape friend because we were racing each other to 99 range at Odris's, and we kind of messaged each other a bit here and there. But then yeah, I think Zypher. I got into some race with him, and then I started talking with Plu at some point. He would stream a bit back then. Maybe I talked to him in a stream or something. But yeah, we would chat, and then like one day, like we had a voice chat with us three, and like that one voice chat with like me, Plu, and Zypher was like that was my first like that was like my first time that I was like voice chatting with total strangers, and like I had a good time, and like that single event actually changed like the whole trajectory with like how active I am in like the community or whatever. Because from there, it's like, oh well, like these voice chats can be pretty fun. Like I should join more. So free to play did a few like the free to play clan, and then I think what happened was that Halcyon Seed was in a lot of those voice chats, and then one day I think she mentioned going over to the MLK Discord. So the RuneScape Stealer MLK, he also streams. He is so he had a Discord, and that was like the first time joining like an individual's Discord as opposed to a clan's Discord. But yeah, like I met a couple people in there. Like that's where I started talking to MLK himself and Dulls or T Basher, Kuchera. There are a few others in there too. That I'm blanking on the names of. But that was like I don't know. Like I started joining those voice chats a lot. The Inducted was in there at some point. I think Freckled Dad was in there too. A couple other like pay to play stealers. MLK was in Omnia, if I remember right, which is a clan that used to exist in pay to play. But yeah, like ended up getting to like a lot of those voice calls and like yeah, just chatting about RuneScape and about IRL. And like I still definitely did not join voice very often. And even then I would still really only join voice if it was like there were people that I knew that were in there, like other free to players. But I think the biggest change to getting to chat more was the Terry comp, Terry 2024. Because that was like they call it like a locker room, like the group the voice chat essentially for a comp, and it was like I think it was like Autism, Yeet, like Mr. Large Yeet, uh, Minalinsky, and a couple others, and like yeah, I think part of it is like the sleep dep and all that too, but it was such a fun week. Like waking up, after a few hours of sleep and then just like being in a voice chat all day long was actually like super enjoyable. And like chatting with them a whole lot and I don't know, just I think around then I joined Mr. Largy also had a Discord server and I think I jumped to that one and that kind of became like the main voice chat that I'd be in uh if I was gonna like voice chat. And so that was a lot of fun. Spent a few years there. Eventually, that Discord kind of fell apart. House and Sid made her own Discord, and that's kind of the main one I'm still in today. And then there's a few other Discords too. Like Free to Play still has voice chats pretty often. Solus itself, the stealing clan that I'm in, they have. I'm not in there too often, but I go in occasionally. And then there's a couple of us in 305 that like have a separate Discord that we sometimes voice in. But I don't know. I'm definitely like there's people who will like voice chat all day every day, and I'm definitely not there. Like it comes in waves where like sometimes like I don't want to have the headset on. I just want to be like watch some show and hang out. Where other times I do really want to like chat with someone, and that's usually when I'll join a voice chat. Or if it's like if I see that like several of my friends are like all in like one voice chat and they're all like unmuted, then usually like I'll join like that. But I don't know. That's definitely like been a very socially impactful thing. Just I don't know, like when you know people at like a more personal level, you're like I don't know, like you're much more willing to like do what they're doing or like hang out. And I think like especially with like some of those people who are like very much so playing from the moment they wake up to when they go to bed. It definitely pushes me to like want to play more. Because when they talked about like, oh yeah, like being on like a 50 week or on like an 80 week or 100 week, and then it's like, okay, well like these people can do it, like why can't I? And then like finding more time in the day to play, and that yeah, that was really in the last like year that that started to happen. There's also like the streaming side of it too. So it's funny. So the whole reason why I have this YouTube channel and why, and maybe not the whole reason, but probably a big, the reason why I started when I started was because I used to love watching all of Tidios's videos. If you don't know Tidios, he made a bunch of free to play Iron Man guides, and he also streamed a bunch of like Cam Dozel a couple years ago now. And he was like, at the time, he was like the most active free to play streamer. Like he had like, I think he had an actual like schedule. He would stream a lot, like all throughout the week. And at some point, he stopped. I think because he got busy IRL with his like food truck or whatever. But it was around that time where it's like, oh well, like no one is streaming RuneScape right now. I could probably do it. It doesn't seem that hard. So, yeah, the beginning I never did FaceCam. I just had, I think that first couple streams I didn't even have a microphone. I just like figured out how to use OBS and would just like play music. Um, and yeah, like I don't know. I think streaming was okay at first, but I really started to enjoy it when I started talking over the microphone. I don't know, like it's kind of like that. Like one of the best things about voice chat is just like getting to talk sometimes, but not necessarily having to like listen to other people in the best way possible. I don't know how the better way to say that, but I don't know. I like streaming. I will say though, I don't stream as much as I think that like a year or two ago, as I was streaming the most that I had been. I want to stream more, but I don't know. Sometimes it's like I'll sit on the PC and if it was like a busy day at work, I don't want to talk, or like there's like a show I want to watch. I honestly, it's so funny. A big reason sometimes of why I don't want to be in voice or why I don't want to stream is literally just because I don't want to have a headset on. And that's like the whole reason is like I just don't want to feel the headset on my head. Which like it's not like my headset is even like that uncomfortable, I'd say. It's just like maybe it's like my ears getting hot. And like they sell like, better earbuds or whatever, but I don't know. It's there's something there with why I don't stream more. I probably could. But it's also just like nice sometimes to not have to like think about an audience. I can just like sit here and play the game. Like generally, I won't do something if it means I'm gonna play less. And like I don't know if like feeling a need to stream is gonna make me play less, or like if streaming is gonna burn me out and I'm gonna get like less XP than I would otherwise that day or week, then I just won't stream. Which another thing too is like some people ask me sometimes why I'm not like affiliated on Twitch. And I'm just honestly I'm just lazy about that. Like plus it's like I don't know, like ads are annoying and then I have to like file like taxes for it for like I don't know. I wouldn't make any money. And it's not like I need money. So it's whatever. I'm happy to just like load up. Though I will say at some point I might want to get some like emotes or something. Just like and this kind of goes back to being like free to play in like my lifestyle. Like I don't subscribe to anybody else on Twitch. I don't um I don't have like Discord Nitro or anything like that. Like I'm using like the base levels of like all these things, which means that like I'm limited in my ability to use emotes. So if I want to affiliate myself, I could use my own emotes, and I would just add like whatever emotes I want to use. I think that's how that works. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's funny. I would be to ditch essence mining right now, but because I'm going on vacation literally starting like in a few hours. I I switched to rune pickaxe earlier, and also I was like packing earlier too, so I didn't want to like mine slower and have the extra weight. But yeah, this is a pretty boring method to do for the 3,000 hours that it's taking me to get 99 or whatever. Um, yeah, so I think another big part of these rambles that people do is like the philosophy of skilling, or at least like my philosophy of skilling. And I like I don't know, I think it goes back to what I mentioned a little while ago is that I very much will play this game how I want to play it. Like I like to have like a goal to work towards. So I just yeah, we'll start there with like the goal. Um, I like to have goals that are achievable in my mind. So, like for example, like when I first started this account, the goal, the big goal was like 70 crafting to get the power enemy, and then the next big goal was like 99 range. Like like okay, like it's gonna take me like 300 hours to 99 range, but at that point I had like 300 hours played, so it's like okay, like I can visualize myself doing that, and then from there, like it was just like it was very slow in the increments of like my goals. Because like I honestly like, sure I talked about maxing back then, but I didn't really think I was ever gonna max. It was very much like, okay, well, like I'm just gonna work on one goal at a time, and I didn't have any desire to do like any post XP. So it's like, okay, well, like 99 range. Well, now I gotta get like 89 smithing was a little too far out of reach. So it's like, okay, I'll do 85 smithing. And I did that. And it's like, okay, well, um, I like that crafting still, and I get smithing XP, so I'll go for like 80, and then I'll go for 90. And I got that. I got that like I got 90 or maybe 85 crafting. I got that pretty early on. And then it's like, okay, like finally, I'll just do 89 smithing, so just a few more hours. Um, and then it's like, okay, well, I did that. Like, let's just go for like base 80 melees. Yeah, I might have been doing like I think I did like 10 levels at a time. I did like base 50, 60, 70, etc. Um, I was definitely was not following the like efficient melee guide back then. But at some point it was like, okay, like I think I'm ready to go for another 99. But it wasn't melees. Like I actually I went back to woodcutting. I did 99 wood to fire mage. And then it's like, okay, like I got a few 99s under my belt. Like I'll go for a melee. And then okay, well, I'll go for math melees. And yeah, it was just kind of like little stuff like that. And then I got math melees. I finished smithing and or sorry, I finished fishing and cooking, which that was like fishing and cooking was an interesting part. It was like it was my first time doing like real like a tit manip skill and like at like real skilling. I loved it so much. Such a cool method. I can't wait to get back to it. But yeah, like I don't know, like these like goals that I can see myself doing in my mind. And every time I do one of these goals, like the scope of that gets bigger. And so you know, after after I finished all the easy skills like Matt's melees and the gathers, then it was like okay, like I have the big four, crafting, smithing, prayer, and RC after that. So it's like okay, well I'll go for like base levels, like I'll go for like base 60, base 70, base 80, base 85s. And then from there, it's like okay, well, like I've done base 85s. I got a few thousand hours in the account. Let's do one of the big ones. Let's do crafting. And then once crafting was over with, it's like, okay, well, like, let's do smithing. And smithing was a big one too, because smithing was the first time that I looked at the efficient method and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I had started out pretty strong. Like, I had this whole, like, plan that I was going to, like, do a few hours of Hill Giants and then Obor and then Telegrab and then Superheat. Like, do like the actual efficient way. And, like, I did a decent amount. I probably did, like, 100-ish hours of telegrabbing, and I didn't. I don't know. The method itself wasn't bad. It was just the idea of like risking and like always having to it was the idea of having to log in and be stressed about the game, like be constantly on edge about getting PK'd, and I don't know. I just hated that part of it. So at a certain point, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna finish melees, and then I'll do the Ring of Forging method, which I liked Ring of Forging smithing. To be honest, like I don't think I'm ever gonna telegrab again. I think I'm just gonna like I'll use up whatever nature runes I get from like monsters, and then I'll honestly I'll just craft and I'll do Ring of Forging. I really don't mind those methods. But yeah, like you know, and then like prayer. Like prayer was like a big one. So after I finished smithing, it's like, prayer's like people always talked about the pray RC wall for this game mode, and it's like okay, well, like I'm just gonna dive into it, and it's so funny. I did so much like analytics when it came to Boneyard. Like I had all these like spreadsheets up, and it's like okay, like if I can just do this much today, and if I just do this much like per week, then I'll get it in like a few months. I just have to like keep doing it. And I think that kind of comes to like prayer, especially, is kind of what comes to the next part of what I like about skilling is the competitive nature of it for sure. Like I would log in every day for Boneyard, and my goal was to set a new PB for like whatever rate I was getting double hopping, like every day. And that's why like some of y'all who are in the Discord might remember. Uh, every couple days when I did a new PB and I'd post it, like that was my whole thing. Was that like that, and that's how I got through prayer. Is like another day, another chance to like get a really good hour, or 15 minutes, however long it took to hit a hop limit. Um, and like that was what drove me to like find all the smaller efficiencies, like logging out early, clicking early, like being able to bury the middle bone faster, just incorporating the middle bone at all. And yeah, that definitely pushed me through prayer. That's like just prayer was like the first skill that like sure I could have been like Agnes Day where I just like sit at hill giants forever. Um, or I could have even like I don't think I ever would have done the baronite fishing. That's just an awful method. But like I could have done like the no hop method more. But I don't know. I kind of like the double hopping. I thought it was fun because it was like a competitive thing every day, and like it was really like I was like 98 and a half prayer when I actually set like my 21K hour, and I was actually like over the moon about that hour. Like everything fell into place. All my hops were good. No failed hops. No crashers. I didn't accidentally run into like suck on this or anyone else up there, and that felt so good to get that hour. And then by that point, it's like I was also every day I was updating the spreadsheet that I had with like how much XP I was at, and I had this thing where it took all the average of like all the gains I made each day, and it gave me like an estimated match or 99 prayer date, and so it was nice like seeing that like get closer and closer, and like if I locked in for a few days, then like it got like a day sooner or like a week sooner, and so that definitely helped. But yeah, like yeah, I just meant the general philosophy. Like I don't know. I play how I want to play, and I play how I think that I'll be able to play more and like get my goals done. And then like I think just like matching has just been like like if the philosophy is the paint, then like matching has just been like the canvas or something. No, that sounds really lame. I don't know. Like surely somebody knows what I'm trying to say. Like matching was just like when it comes back to those like small goals, like matching was just like eventually like I liked getting levels, and yeah, matching was just like the good way to do that. Because honestly, It's so funny with like maxing and free to play because there's no benefit. I mean, you can argue that like 99 prayer is nice to have because you can like 5% pray like for longer, and you can argue that 99 RC is good because you get the most like EHP per lamp, which is really nice for comps. But otherwise, there's no real benefit to maxing. Um, like smithing becomes obsolete, I guess, at like 97 smithing when you can make the rune kite shield. Not that it's that hard to get from Obor. I mean, there's a reason why most people stop at 89 for the sim. Like that's like the real benefit. Like there's no crafting benefit after 70. There's no I don't know. Like there's no fishing benefit. Fishing is really just its own thing. Even like combats are kind of their own thing. Like I just math melees is nice. Like 99 defense for fleshies. But like ranging or like magic, there's no real benefit. So I don't know. It's been nice maxing because it's like maxing's one of those things that I'm doing right now just because I want to do it. Like it goes back to like not playing this game in a way that like I'm not happy with. Like I enjoy the process of going for match. Like if I didn't enjoy it, I would just like do post XP or I would just do something else. What else did I talk about? I mean, yeah, like that. Like I don't know. Like there's people who like can really dive into like a skilling philosophy. Um, like there's the guy that Automelogy fangirls over the like he got like 200 mil mining first or something. I always forget his name. And then I've been watching that like free to play monk dude. He's been posting some videos, which it's so funny to like hear people like hear other people's philosophies. Just some people like they have such this like organizational brain where it's like they can like rationalize every single thing about the game and why they do it. And I guess my whole thing is just, I don't know, it's just fun. It's just a game. I just like to click on the RuneLite client and then like to see the SP number go up. And it's so funny too, like even for like EHP, the only real benefit that I ever saw for like having my EHP go up was just so I could get a higher rank in the clans that I was in. Like that's really the gist of it. Like 385 is actually set up really nicely where like the EHP milestones, the new ranks, they're spread out nicely enough that like nothing's like super unobtainable, and like it scales nicely. Like when you're like a turbo noob, the banana ranks are nice, and then like getting like the bronze star, the silver stars, and the underlined versions, and then with the gold, like the max rank is like sissy 500 ep. Like that's a lot of ep. I'm not even there yet. Um, I would be a gold star, but I'm the clan leader now, so I'm the gold P. I can talk about that a bit as well. It's not necessarily a competitive thing, more than it's like climbing a ladder. I like climbing a ladder, and not just in like this. It's actually like an IRL thing. I enjoy being at like the top of an organizational structure, or like the process of working my way up. So I'll talk a bit about this. So back in college, for instance, I was part of this student organization, um, where I mean, like it's like a countrywide organization. It's all about like aerospace stuff, like specifically like space exploration. And we had our little chapter at Virginia Tech where I went to school, and like I joined as a freshman, and like I don't know, like I don't really know what it was, but like something clicked in my mind where it's like, oh, I should like start climbing. I don't know. Like I really don't. I don't know where it comes from, but maybe it's just like a desire to be in charge. But even then, like I don't love too much responsibility. I don't know. But yeah, so like I remember like I joined the freshman officer role, and then like went to a bunch of meetings, and I think like by the end of like by the end of my freshman year, I was like just the person who cared the most about it. So the previous person who was in charge was like, "Hey, you'll be the like chapter president next year because no one else wants to be." And I don't know, I liked that. And then eventually I got involved in the like the national level org, and I ended up being like the chair of the board of directors of like the whole organization by the time I was a senior. And I don't know, like something about like doing that climb is like it was something I wanted to do. I couldn't really tell you a reason why I wanted to do it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like being at the top. Just like super like narcissistic thing to say or whatever, but I don't know. But I think it translated to RuneScape when that became like the next thing to focus on, because at least like in the 3-5 clan, um, like it was fun to like slowly go up the ranks, and like as you get ranked, you get more like permissions to like kick players or like invite new players to the clan. And it just like slowly over time, like getting friendlier with people like Tanny who are in charge, and eventually I just like showed enough of an interest in the Discord that I got the silver T rank, and then yeah, I just got the gold T rank like a month or two ago, I think. And so now I've climbed the ladder of 385, and now I'm at the top. It sounds silly, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. And who knows? Maybe I'll take over Solus next or something. Sounds like something Dave would say. Nah, but I don't know. At the same time, though, it's like the energy that I have in doing that does not translate to climbing the corporate ladder. Like my last job, I stayed at it for like 5 years, and like I started off as like being the youngest person on my team, and then I became like one of the oldest. And it's like I had no desire to like it's actually this is actually a whole thing that like I still really don't even know how it happened, because I was like I was very happy in my last job. Like as I mentioned earlier, it was like I only had to go in like 1 day a week. My boss had like no control over me. Like he wanted me to go in the office more, but I like he knew I was like good enough at my job that he couldn't like force me. So like I had this very chill life doing that. I was able to play a lot throughout the day. And like if I was gonna get a new job, it was because I wanted to like move out of the city, not like just to like climb the career ladder or whatever. But yeah, all of a sudden, like one of my ex coworkers who had joined this new team, he just reached out one day. He's like, "Hey, like, you interested?" And honestly, I think it was more just like I wanted to get like the interviewing practice. So I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I like went through the interview process, and then like I got the job. And I don't know, like, I still like kind of think about this of like why did I take it? Like the title raise and the like yeah, like the pay increase was definitely a big factor of it. As I mentioned, like I'm not as remote, but I'm still remote, or like I'm still like hybrid. They call it like 3 days in, 2 days at home. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just like an inner desire to like climb to some level. I don't know. It's kind of fun being like in your 20s or whatever, and like not really having a plan of how you want to do life yet. But like you're just deep enough into it where you probably should have some kind of plan. Like I don't know. Like I'm again like goes back to me like being content with life or whatever. Like I've got a pretty good gig. I make enough money to like eat good food, drink on the weekends, like go out on the town, like 2 international vacations a year, plus a bunch of like little weekend trips. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm doing what I want when I want, and like I don't know. Like if there's like a big enough change that I want to make, I'll do it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm content climbing the ladder of 385, which you know that people this will be the next part of the ramble. fuck all the bullshit. I love the 385 clan. Like we always kind of have with the joke of like 385 being the like the degenerates of free to play or like the noobs of free to play, whatever. But I don't know. Like at the end of the day, like 385 is my family in RuneScape. Like sure, maybe I'm not as close with people as I am in like some of the discords that I like I voice in, or like sure maybe there's some like some bad apples here and there, but I don't know. There comes to something of like 385 is like the open forum. And like when I'm like the gold key of 385, I don't feel as though I'm like the person in charge. I feel like I'm more so the like I don't know, if 385 if the clan chat is like the public square for all free to players, then like I'm just the dude who like sweeps it up occasionally, tries to keep it like manageably clean. I don't know, but yeah, there's a pride in that though. Like I enjoy I enjoy what 385 represents, which is like just the like if you want to make a new free to play account, 385 is open. Like sure, we have the 100 up requirement, which I do like that. Um like I think it's a bit much for clans like Phoenix to just let anybody in off the street. Uh just because there's so many like smileys in there, but I don't know. Like I love like being able to log in every day and like there's just so many different free to players in this clan who are all just doing their own thing, having fun. Like there's a good amount of chatter. Like I love the free to play clan, but like I don't know, I like being able to chat in game. Like when's the last time yeah, for like 10 messages in the last like since I started recording, there's been a bunch more 3 or 5 messages. I don't know. It's funny too with like the free to play clan thing. I started playing well after several of the free to play clans had like been established. Which I wonder if things would have been different if I had like started playing and started like managing 385 sooner than that. Just from what at least like what I've heard and understand about history is that there used to just be the one clan, the free to play clan, and then like things just started splitting off of like oh well, like okay the serious game like we need a more casual like space, so 385 was created at some point, and then the free to play Iron Man clan they split, and then Phoenix split from them, and Mello existed at one point and then stopped existing. I don't know. It's it's very weird. Like we have all these clans, and there's really like on any given week or month, there's really like no more than 100 active like free to players with more than like a few hundred up. And like I don't know. I think we all very well could, and maybe not. I Phoenix. I think Phoenix is a really good reason for existing on their own. And I honestly I think every community should have like a space like Phoenix to exist, but I don't know. I don't think there needs to be as many clans as there are. Like, and yeah, Paradise. I forgot to mention them as well. Like, and then there's also the like the old clan that people like Bardo and Agile are in. And there's also like the 3 5 clan chat too, or the French chat. I mean, which there's a bunch of people that hang out there as well. I don't know. I think I would have liked it more if all the free to players were in one place, but I think we're at a decent place now. 3 5's the largest clan. Uh, free to play clan has all the like really like high HLC people, but 3 5 like we've got I mean we got Min who up until just recently was ranked 1 free to play. Um, we've got several Iron Men who have like more than like 6 7K up. We have several like matched reds. Like I know free to play is like people think of it as like the red clan, like the people who are like 1 bill XP plus. But 3 5's got a decent amount of them, at least that are matched, and working on something. I mean, I know we're mostly Iron Men, but yeah, I don't know. We got a pretty good group. We definitely have a lot of like. There's a lot of us that are like between like 500 and like 2500 ep. Like we've got it like, you know, like if you call that like a middle class of free to play, like we got a lot of those people. Like people who like have been around a while, but like they're not like super intense. Like they wouldn't usually play in comps unless like I shared it with the clan or whatever. But yeah, it's a good group. It's a good enough community. It definitely was worse back in the day. I think 3.5 is in a better place now because some people aren't playing as much anymore. Um, like I don't know, like I think a lot of people have this idea of like 3.5 being like truly like a hive of scum and villainy, and I think a few years ago we were that, but it's gotten a lot better. I think it's mostly just a lot of like noobs and I don't know people that are just happy to like play the game and have fun. And that's ultimately like what I want. Like yeah, like it's I mean any like open to the public clan like this is gonna have like some bad apples, especially when like we've never had a policy of like insta banning unless it's like very egregious conversation. Like you would probably get banned for talking in Phoenix way before you got banned for talking in 385, even if you were saying the same things. But you would get banned if you like take it too far. But I think I mean just in general, I think the internet as a whole has well actually I don't know if I can even say that. Just like I know there's like Degen Chord, which is like truly the hive of scum and villainy of RuneScape it seems. Not that I really know anything about them. That's just really what I've heard and that's some of the tweets that they have. I mean, I think that's another thing too. And this is like an IRL thing as well, but like I don't really have any bad juju with anyone. Like it's so funny. Like people talk about people that like they genuinely dislike, but I don't really have anybody in my life who I genuinely do not enjoy. And maybe that's like maybe part of it is just like I got lucky in life and like most people I meet are good people. Or maybe like I can identify like bad people really early on or people I wouldn't want to hang out with very early on and like not even like consciously think about it. But like pretty much everybody in free to play, um, I'm cool with. Like there's a few bad apples. Like yeah, like I guess like Suomi. Suomi's like the one person that I think we banned from the clan that I can remember. Or no, there was the 96 N guy. But like again, like it was just like those people like that were banned because they were like I mean Suomi is like a whole thing, but like 96 N was just like constantly screaming slurs and just like being an asshole to other people in the clan chat, which is why we banned him. But like, I don't know. I have like one enemy in real life, and like it's not even an enemy. It just was an enemy for a little bit because it was the student organization that I was in charge of back in college. For like to win that, like it was like an election I had to win, and the two people that I like beat out in that election, like I had some bad energy with them for a bit, but even then, like I don't know, like a year later, like it was just totally fine. But I don't know. It comes back to like I'll talk about like two like kind of more recent instances of like bad juju with other people in RuneScape. The first one was a couple months ago, maybe 2 months. I think it was this year actually. It wasn't that long ago. Um, one of the people that I was actually like I was friends with them from like the beginning of RuneScape, or like the beginning of like their like free to play account, and like helped them out a bunch. Like they were someone who's interested in like efficient scaling for free to play UIM, so like that drew me. And then we had a bit of I don't even know if I would call it like a falling out, but they were someone who like interacted with me a lot on some of the discords, and then they made like a very abrupt exit a few months ago, which like made me sad. I guess that like I lost like an internet friend, but I don't know. Like it definitely made me feel sad just because like again like I'm like a people pleaser. That like, I mentioned that earlier. Like if somebody makes me like if I know that I made someone unhappy enough to like do something like that, then like that fucks me up. And that was kind of like a slap in the face of like, okay, like why like the reasons why I made that person upset were like the other people that I hang out with, and it's like I don't know, that was a very weird thing of like kind of reevaluating a lot of the reasons why like I think it comes with like the fact that like I'm like first of all like being a 385 and being around people like that, like I think it's easy to normalize some behavior that like was like really fucked up when other people like face that same behavior or hear the things that they like say or like type in game. So that got me thinking a bit, and like especially like as like the leader of a clan, like kind of taking that more seriously and like you know being a bit more on people if they like say some fucked up shit. And then the more recent example was the free to play comp. Just like a earlier this month, which that's like a whole thing. That like luckily like it's mostly blown over now I think, but I was fucked up actually at the end of that comp because I think what happened is that like it started off that I was made to be like just like in a playful way I was made to be the villain of like the whole comp because I signed someone else up to play and they didn't end up playing. And I think like there's a lot of part of it is like sleep debt I think, but like there were a lot of emotions around that comp because like it's a free to play comp, and a lot of us free to players, if we ever in a comp, it's all usually just like a pay to play comp that we kind of slide into. But like this was like home turf, like the badge was like at least like we've been talking about the badge for a while. We really wanted it, um, and so yeah, there ended up being a lot of bad juju there, and like I kind of made the mistake of like in my mind it was all like like yeah we're all still just like playing around and like no one's really that upset. And then like I don't know like I got some DMs leaked to me that like people were like and like I had people like actually just telling me that they were angry with me like genuinely. And I was like I lived my whole life to be a people pleaser, so like when I had people like telling me that like I really fucked up, like that did actually make me like very like just sad around that time. Like, I remember, I think I cried over that shit actually. I mean, like part of it was that I had been up for the whole weekend, and oh my god, let me that first day of or the last day of the comp, which was the first day of my brand new job, like that it was so fucked up because it's like I had first of all I'd slept like between Thursday night or Friday morning when the comp started and that Monday morning I'd slept like 6 hours. So already not doing great. Plus, it's like stress of just like a new job in general, which like any like new like change to my life like had some jitters about. Plus, I have like all this stuff going on that like people like in my mind it's like all of my friendships with everybody in this clan are now ruined, and like people who I've been like good friends with for a long time were like pissed off with me, like not just like playful angry, but in my mind they like hated me and wanted me dead and hated my guts. And yeah, like the combination of all those things, and then like it was like a lose lose because if I won the comp, then you know I was like the villain who like fixed the whole comp so that I could win. And if I lost the comp, then like sure maybe people wouldn't have been as angry with me, but like I was like the captain of my team. I was like letting my team down. And I don't know, like it was just like a mess. And like obviously like I didn't help the situation because like I don't know, like when you're playing in a comp, it's like the fun of a comp is like playing around with the other teams and like getting in their head and like I never meant any malice about like any stuff. Like like whenever I had like a couple seconds like running between like the Chronicle and Aubrey doing body runes, like I would squeeze in like a little bit of time just in like MS Paint to like make a quick meme. And I don't know, like I don't know the whole like Eurydice thing. Like people like I thought it was all just like jokes that people were like, oh, like I didn't signed up a fake person so that he'd win, which like it's just it was never that like serious. It was just some dude in 3.5 who had a silver star wanted to sign up, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll sign you up. I don't know. There are a lot of opinions that just aren't going to benefit anybody if I say things, so I'm just not going to. But I don't know. I apologize to people, and I think I'm on good terms now. That's another thing too. I would much rather apologize and like make myself like the one who's at fault if it means that people will like relax and we can all go back to being normal. So I was like I don't know. God, even like thinking about it now, like it still fucks me up, like that whole situation, and like that ruins comp, like that situation ruins comps for a lot of people. Like I feel genuinely bad for everybody on the other two teams that like, especially on the team that came in second place that like only lost by a couple ep. Like I don't know, like there are people on that team that like I'm hoping I haven't like ruined my relationship with. Just like I don't know, like again, like, I don't have any enemies in my mind. Like I like everybody in like all the clans. I would like to like keep it that way. And so I don't know. I was fucked up a lot when I realized just how like angry people were with me for that comp. So for everybody who was on the other teams, that's my bad. I apologize. I I never meant anything with like literally like I try to explain it my best and over text, but like genuinely, I asked the 3-5 clan chat if anybody wanted to sign up for the comp, and a silver like someone who has 2K up, like a silver star, which like in 3-5, like it wasn't just some cabbage range saying, "Hey, sign me up." Like it was someone who has been in the clan for a while. I trusted them to play. They have 2K up, which is not nothing for 3-5ers. And like so many of these like free to play comps where people play, you know, 10 hours in like a whole week. It's like, yeah, sure, like someone wants to sign up. Like, yeah, if someone told me to sign them up for like Soul this Summer for Terry, I'm not doing that. But like I went into the whole thing with an understanding that like this was a free to play comp. No one was gonna go nuts. No one was gonna go nuclear. So it's like, yeah, sure, I'll sign them up. And then I don't know. Would I have picked him to be on my team? No. At least not at as high of a draft that he was at. But I don't know, like, is it my responsibility that like for everybody who signs up for 385 that I have to like warn everybody else that like, oh, maybe this person is or isn't gonna play? Like, just think, I don't know. Like, there are randoms that will like in comps that will play big numbers. Like that happens. And like I don't know, like there's also a lot of times where like a big name signs up for a comp and then they play horribly. So I don't know. In my mind's like I'm sorry everybody that like if y'all got fucked up by that comp, but I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. I'm just glad it's over though. I'm just glad that it's hopefully behind all of us, and I'm just like still stressing over nothing. But yeah, I don't know. That's I just like comps are like a whole discussion as well. Like for the most part, comps have actually been great. Like I actually love signing up for comps. I'm never like the best. Like I'm someone who very much I think it goes back to like not playing when I don't want to play. Like I'm willing to push myself pretty far. Like I've gotten into a comfortable like 21-hour online, 3 hour sleep schedule for a lot of these comps that I play in. But I don't know. Like the people who are able to do like full 30 hours, or the people who will stay up for like all 48 of a 48-hour comp, those people are crazy. I could never do that. But I don't know. Like if I sign up for a comp, I never I always try the and I just a lot of people like do this too, where they put like less hours than they'll actually play. Just like there's a whole thing of like not wanting to like signing up for and then not playing the amount you signed up for. That is like a pretty shitty thing to do. Where it's like it's also shitty if you like say you're not gonna play much and then you play a lot. So I don't know. I try to be I always try to be like accurate. Like for the 72 hour, for instance, I signed up for a 60. I mean, I was a captain I just in this last one, so that doesn't really count. But like I said, I was gonna do 60 because I knew I could probably play 60. I mean, I later found out that I was gonna start a new job that Monday. So I actually only ended up. Actually, I think I did play. I mean, I slept six, and it was a 78. So I physically was online for like 70. Actually, no, I missed a bunch in that orientation that day. I was probably I was probably logged in for 65, and then I did 60 up, which is pretty good. Some of those like late nights when you're exhausted, you're like doing like point 0.7. But yeah, I don't know. I still like comps. I'm actually excited to sign up for some comps this year because I have like 50 mil fishing XP that I'll need to do without Erie fishing, and I don't love just doing snow leather. I mean, I'll do it, and I don't hate the method, but I'm hoping that like a week comp or like a couple weekend comps will like kind of push me past the finish line. Though that's actually so my last job, I could very easily get away with staying at home for a full week. Because like my last job, Mondays were the day to like be in the office, and I would work from home Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday mornings or Thursday afternoons I would go in. But it was very easy to like use Monday as a sick day, and then just not go in Thursday and just like kind of eat that like you know not going in and like potentially making my boss a little upset. But like I could very much like do that and then like just have a week at home that I could play. But this new job is probably gonna be a bit more difficult to do that. At least at the start. I mean, I don't know. Like a few months down the line, it could be back to where I was before. Um, but yeah, we'll see. If like, and maybe the time of my life to get a 140 plus in a week comp is gone, which is a little sad. I would have wanted at least one 140 under my belt. So I think I could do it. In my it was like week 4 or 5 of fantasy last summer. I was on pace to do like a 145, and that's like literally just doing like the 21/3 thing and just like playing all day. I think I could have done like if it had gone to the end, I think that would have been the week. Because I missed Terry, 'cause I was like traveling that weekend. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to have at least like a single 140 under my belt. At least a 130. So my PB is still only like like a 121, I think. Like it's not. I don't have a great PB, but I would like a better one. just to like say I did it, just to like I don't know, like week times are so tough because it's so easy to be like, oh, we have a lead, or oh, the other team has a lead that we can't come back from. And then like day five hits, and it's like if that lead is there, it's like especially if you're losing and there's a big lead, then it's just like yeah, whatever. Like we give up. I'm going back to bed. It's so tough to like push through. Just I don't know if like I don't know like doing like when I did the runecrafting day record, which I slept for, so I'm a noob. Like I don't know, like I was able to push myself like for one day outside of a comp, but a week is just like there's no way. Like the fact that people like Unreal just like woke up one day and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the mining week," and they did the mining week. Like that's just so crazy. Like yeah, Azula has some crazy records, but at least those are like or in comps usually or in fantasy. But I don't know. In terms of like that's a whole like separate conversation too of like the philosophy of like playing versus like doing anything else. There's so many people who are like are good players and they just play occasionally throughout the week. Versus like there's some people that like they can just baseline like 100 weeks. Like people like Wizard or people like Beer Eye who like those dudes just log in the morning and just play all and they stream all day and then they go to bed. Which I don't know if Wizard streams as much anymore, but like Beer Eye is someone right now who like I'll see him go live in the morning on Twitch, and then I'll do something in the day, and like right before I go to bed, I'll open up Twitch, and he's been live for 18 hours, and he's just been doing Tob all day. Like I don't know, like whenever I'm like at the PC, I'll play, but there's really not like I never have this like sense of urgency where it's like I should be playing all day. Like, I'm very happy to just like do something else. Like I kind of mentioned already, like I'll go exercise. I'll go out on the weekends. I'll go out to eat or like go out for a few drinks. Or like I don't know, like it's rare that I'll take like a full day off where like I could be at the PC or like where I'm at the PC but I don't have RuneScape open. But I don't know, like I've kind of settled into this like 1500 ep per year. Like I think I could do a 2K year. And actually, uh, the last time I checked my 6 month thing, I was at like 1,000 or like 900. I think if I utilized AFK time more, I could probably do a 2K a year, but I don't know. I just don't want to play more than that. Because like if I play more than that, then I'm like sacrificing other stuff, and I just don't know. And especially with this new job too, and like having less days during the week to play, I don't know if I'll ever hit the 2K year. But I'm okay with that. I'm not like I don't know. That's another thing too about like free to play is that like you can finish all the pay to play modes. I just like pay to play UIM is like pay to play UIM and free to play Red are like a little crazy. But like I don't know, 20k up is achievable in a lifetime, especially if you're like and like I don't know, when you have something that's achievable in a lifetime, like in like 10 years, then like you push yourself to do that. Or at least like if I was in the situation I would. And I think that's another reason why I liked Matsing free to play Iron because like Matsing is like 5k up. I mean it was like 8k up when I started, but um like it's achievable in just a few years. And so like if something's achievable in a few years, you push yourself to do it in those few years. But like 2-inch Malal free to play UIM is like 80,000 hours, like 80,000 ep, so like 100k hours. And like yeah, theoretically that's achievable in a lifetime, but it's not really. So I don't know. That's the whole thing too with like going back to like setting little goals and stuff. Like I actually am a little worried about what's gonna happen after Max in terms of like motivation. Because like my net's like overarching goal is like one bill XP, I think. And like the way I'm gonna do that is just like increments of like woodcutting and fishing, and then like some AFK melees or whatever, or just like really just doing whatever I want to do that day or that week. But I don't know. It's much different from getting levels, so I'm a little worried about that. But I think like community wise, like I'm still gonna like log in and play every day. I think just I want to. I want to be around all these people that play this game. But yeah, maybe the goals will change. Maybe I'll find like it's logical to do the fastest at speed methods. First of all, just because I like them. Second, because it's like, updates can always make other skills faster. Like I'm probably not gonna rune crafts after I max, at least not for a long time. But I could. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll like kind of tap into the like competitive nature of myself, where it's like if there's like comps, or maybe just like go for like month records of like trying to do like a big month in certain skills. But I don't know. But like there's some skills that like Boob probably is going to keep the smithing record forever. That week, that like 140 of superheating, and like having to do like having to telegraph with so much risk to get that, like that record's probably gonna sit around forever. And then like uh Enjoy's Shishudo account, like I think that runecrafting week just I don't know. There's some records like that are just like stupid, but I think I can take a lot of other records. So that'll be a reason to play as well, and maybe like do some skills. Maybe 3-5 at some point we'll do like a skill of the week thing. I know Phoenix does those, or they do like skill of the month now, but like same idea. But I don't know. I just saw the recording hit the 2 hour mark, so I think I've said what I wanted to say. Again, yeah, it's totally different style of ramble. Yeah, I guess to kind of end the video, my tentative goal right now is to max April 11th, so 2 weeks from when this video comes out. I plan on I'm really try to play a little bit mobile runecrafting while I'm on vacation, just as I want to make sure I actually can mats in time. Uh, but yeah, that's the tentative goal. I don't know what time, or like it'll be like that like Saturday or Sunday. It just kind of depends on like how this vacation goes, and then how much I play when I get back. But that's the goal, and I have this idea in mind of like I'll do like a little pub crawling game like the hour before, hang out on stream. Uh, yeah, and then I think like it'll end in like I don't remember the name of the bar in Falador, and then I'll probably match like right there out in the Falador Square. That's the plan. Anyway, if you made it this far, good on you. This is as long as like a poppy ramble now, so I doubt any of you have made it this far. Yeah, and probably won't stream for the next like week or two, but yeah, next video will probably be matsing. So, peace.